Hello and welcome once again to the Dr. Zeero Xiron Free Magic Secrets Show, where we investigate all forms of magic. We talk about things and stuff. We have all kinds of cool music we're broadcasting off on the ether waves and all the things and stuff. And so I was just like thinking about landscape, magical landscape. Okay, here's what I mean. All right. Because, so this is how the thought began. So let's start here. Talking about how my own next magical step in my path and about how my path led me to a certain position in which I became a character in the landscape of the vast tapestry of different paths going on out there and how I became a character of that. And then what's the next step for me and how I ended up there and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I was thinking, like, what's the next step? Because Zeero Xiron is the upgrade, right? See, Zeero here, this isn't like a split personality. It's just a magical name, another one to throw out there, another nickname or whatever you want to call it. Mysterious persona on social media, but also a guy, right? And it's about the magical vision and the magical personae which unites. And it's all part of the same process. And it's all you know. And the point is, like, now that I think about it, I did the show. I did all kinds of things in life, all kinds of magical related things. And wrote a book, right? Which is, I'll talk more about later. Plus other books, once upon a time. And, when you go full Zeero, what's the next step? Well, I was thinking about my place. And sort of like this. Went off on my own path, my own magical path, found my own way. Sorry. I had something stuck in my throat. Went on my own path, went on my own way. And then I ended up living in magically inclined world. 365, 24/7. And once I got to that point, I realized I was oh shit. I was a character in this world, and my function was to be another character in which people on their paths run into on their own magical ascent. I don't really want to restart this. I'm sorry I'm coughing so much. But what I'm trying to say is Zeero Xiron here has sort of ended up, if people like walk into their own like personal Alice in Wonderland kind of world, I'm like the Cheshire Cat or something that appears on the pathway, and I'm the one that talks about wheeling and dealing in the nature of Zero itself and nothingness and all sorts of other stuff. And I look at it like all the other like YouTube content creators and people who like are living magic 24/7, 365 and want to, if asked, transmit knowledge or wisdom or whatever they found along their way or their vision or whatever. Because I don't necessarily impose my shit. What I do is I exist, and people, if they want to ask questions, I'll give them honest answers. And I'll lead them on their way if they choose to want to listen to what I have to say. But I'm not going to necessarily push my shit to people who aren't ready for it or aren't accepting of it or resonating with it or whatever. So that's been my position. That's where I've ended up, where I've become this character in the landscape. That's kind of just a voice in the air. So where does that lead my path? Where does my path continue? Is it just hanging around the enchanted forest, talking to the other magical people, or is there an upgrade? Is there a new way to go? And that's what I'm really, really questioning right now. What is it going to be? Because, while for the druid vision, the druid thing, it's about a structure and a hierarchy and a way of going about things and a mental state and a kind of a vocation to be a jack of all trades at service to the pagan community. And that's ultimately kind of what's going on there. But like all the Celtic stuff, like all the talking about Awen and talking about all the different, the old Celtic names for stuff, which are really hard to read and pronounce because they have different sounds for different letters that would sound different in English, I don't know, like it's like the whole structure there, but the vision, like I like chivalrous olden time stuff. I think they got cool mythology and all that. I like the ideas of their gods and goddesses, but again, I don't think gods and goddesses are real, and et cetera, et cetera. So I get lost where like I can't really get deep into that aspect of Druidry because it's completely wed to the Celtic mythology. I like Celtic mythology, but that I just take it as mythology itself. But I take the Druid notion very serious. So am I going to head in that direction even more is what really the question that I'm asking. And I'm talking to myself kind of. This video has the air of just me doing like a personal diary that I'm posting online just to get some thoughts out, by the way. This isn't meant to be a super well-rounded episode on all kinds of magical topics. I just, the things that I'm posing here and talking about now is just things that I also would like you as the listener to contemplate yourself. And in so many words, the effect that I'm trying to get here is I really want you to consider your position in the landscape of magic in and of itself, and how you interrelate to other people. Do you feel like you're at that point where you become like a wise character and that's all you're doing is emitting your views and your opinions and your visions and your magical techniques? Are you the teacher all the time, or are you the student? Sometimes it's best to be like a student of watching an uninitiated person. There's a lot of power in going into something totally ignorant of it and watching someone integrate for the first time, and what it'll remind you a lot of like why you started as well. So never forget that part of it. But, ask yourself, like, who are you in relation to Magic community? What is the true nature of your game? I don't know. This is where it's also leading to. What is the nature of your game? Why are you doing what you're doing? And, when you practice Magic and you interface with all the other people who do, it's like a game of chess, a mental game of chess with some people. But it's also like a larger poker game that all of us are playing with each other. Or you could say even Magic the Gathering, a big game of that. Because as cheesy as it is, Magic the Gathering helped me think of magical ideas and magical topics and tactics and ways to outwit the other opponent with all these different elemental things. Yeah. But I stopped playing Magic the Gathering when I was in like 8th grade. Well, a very long time ago in the 90s. Because the rules got too complicated. They were like, once you got past certain... Once you got past a certain point, there were so many rules that the game became extremely excruciating to play because you had to be like a librarian egghead to memorize all the rules. And you're playing a tournament on a table with a bunch of cards laid out everywhere, all over the place. It's like impossible to track. Can't wrap my head around it. Anyway, getting away from that. Wanted to talk about the game and stuff. And I had this buddy, we ate some gummies of the gun pho kind, or I'm sorry, Gus, the Gus Fun, the Gus Fun gummies. And we were on our stroll, and I was talking about how I'm like if someone's on their magical path, I'm like the weird Cheshire cat that pops out, and I'm like, here, it's all about Zeero. And he's like, but why? And then I'm like, because it's fun. And it's an honest answer, because I don't have to be doing anything I don't want to do. I'm doing it because it's enjoyable to me. Playing the game is fun. So you have to understand, like, your magical practice, you have to have fun in the equation. And a lot of times I watch people super serious about a lot of topics. I don't know. It seems like they're having fun and enjoying themselves, but at the same time, I don't know how. If you're just absolutely obsessed with talking to demons and stuff, daemons or whatever, it doesn't seem fun to me. I guess that's the big split with me and all the demonologists. I don't know. Would you say that? I'm not S. Connolly, so I don't know how I would pronounce that. If that's the correct term. The demonologist. But demonologist means you just study the shit, right? If you're just a demonologist, doesn't mean you're working with them. You just know all the stuff. So where were we going with this today? I'm going to pause it and come back to this. But I did want to say also, I don't know if what's going to happen with my book. It's still in limbo with Amazon, and I'm trying to have it resolved. And every time I call back, they're like, you got to wait 2 business days for a response or something. And then they don't respond. And then I call back, and then so I'm in a situation where like, the case has been escalated as much as possible in order to free up the account. And I'm waiting for a supposed response in 24 hours, theoretically. But I don't know if I'm really going to win this battle. I think they're just... I don't know if they're just going to like leave my shit in arbitration and then leave my book up for sale and I never get any proceeds from it, and it's just Amazon just straight up steals my book or something. I don't know what happens here. Like, is that what's up? Like, that's the end slap in the face? Like, Amazon steals your book because you bought a gift card in order to purchase the book you fucking made? Like, it seems it's such an absurd situation to be put in. So I don't know. I got off promo copies to the most important places that I needed to send it to, that were like the highest priority, jumping up and down on fire kind of priorities. Got them it everywhere I needed to go, and then anything past that has been potentially shut down. And if it's getting shut down, I have this plan where I found out it only costs $1.75 to send an actual handwritten letter in an envelope to the UK. That's it. So the plan had been to send copies of my book to all the witchcraft stores in the UK. And if that's shut down and I can't do that, emailing them looks really weak. And a handwritten letter means something. So I was just thinking about writing 17 handwritten letters to, I think I had a list of like, no, it's more than that. It's got to be at least like 20 stores. I whittled it down to like 20 stores. So I was just going to personally write every single one and then write down, like, here's the download link for the book, and then ship them all off. Because the whole point is I wanted the shop owners to read it. I don't care about making a commercial item. I don't care about selling a product. I don't care if they stock it on their shelves or not. I don't care if the general public gets it. What I want is this just to go to very specific individuals. And then it will do whatever it does in the world for as long as copies exist. So I'm going to pause it here and think of some other stuff to say. Tonight, I will be finishing up the next album that Zeero Xiron Orchestra is putting out, which is just me playing around with Suno. I don't take credit beyond it, anything. It's just me structuring shit with lyrics that I created to create music that I wanted to hear, and Suno is wonderful. and I'm getting my message across now through the music, and it is what it is. I'm not pretending that I've quote unquote musician behind this. It's just a computer offering suggestions of what it would do or what it would think I'm after, and that's it. So, and also I also wanted to say, while we're on the topic of AI, the book I put out, none of the text, I didn't use ChatGPT or any of this stuff. I didn't run it through I didn't consult AI in the creation of my book. None of the text, none of it. That was completely off the plate, just so everybody knows. But the cover art is obviously an AI thing that I did, and that's fair game. I thought it looked really cool. So the very fact that it has AI cover art may make someone think that the text itself is dubious, because maybe they aren't expecting me to be such a proficient writer, not to toot my own horn. But, if I personally saw a book that had a AI cover and came out on Amazon and then looked at it, I'd probably think maybe this thing stinks like AI. Maybe this guy's not as proficient as he seems to appear. But for the record, if anybody's listening or cares, I just wanted to be absolutely sincere, not lying about this. I did not use AI whatsoever in the creation of the text of my book. It's all me 100%. And, the handicaps that I used during it would be go on Google and use thesaurus or the dictionary, or look up, thesauruses are fair game. Any kind of technology is really fair game. But the thing is, if you do text and start running it through AI to get its editing expertise, and it's half ghostwriting your stuff and you're passing it off as your own work. That's pretty, it's just technically it might come out really good for someone if they were completely unaware that you had used that tool. It's the writing craft is strong. It's it's just got to come from the individual. I'm a purist in that way. So anyway, that's just about that. I will know soon enough if Amazon's going to screw me and just steal my book. And you know what? I don't know what to say. So pause it for now. Well, no. Well, I also wanted to mention, well, I'm still going. We are in a situation where that horrifyingly bad Senate bill, the budget bill, the one big beautiful bill, is seems like it's going to pass. It's passed the Senate, went back to the House to finish it up, and now it's going to go back to the Senate. But it looks like it's going to go through by very fast before July 4th. And if you don't know what hard times are, all I got to say is you get what you vote for, and none of it's going to be any shock. And, we got upwards of 17 million people who are going to lose their health insurance, and tons of people are going to lose their disability. And I'm seeing stuff about how the age of dependence is being cut down to the age of 8. You can, so it's insane. And they're going to make it so if you're on disability, you have to work in order to maintain it, or some shit also, or you'll probably have to have a job in order to maintain your health care. It's going to be terrible, and it's going to untold unnecessary suffering. We are the most developed country probably in the world. We've got all the stuff. We've got all the manufacturing. We have everything. But can't give universal health care. I don't understand why the population, if they tried to take away universal health care in any kind of European country, just the whole country would halt. It would be like worker strikes. It'd be all the streets would be filled. They would not let the country proceed forward if they tried to take that from the people. And here we've just been so accustomed to never having it in the first place that it's like, oh, it's just the United States, man. Just this poisoned, senseless, unfair nightmare that we're all subjected to. Okay, now I'm actually going to stop it. Well, I do believe that that is all I really had to say for today. I guess I'll keep it kind of short and sweet, a little bit of rambling, but once again, to cap it all off, I just wanted anyone out there to listening to, think about your position and think about, what's the next step. Think about how things started for you. Examine these crucial details, and you'll be all the better when you come to various illuminating understandings of your own path. So that much said, thanks for stopping by the Dr. Zeero Xiron Free Magic Secrets Show. Stay tuned. Next album, I didn't mention before, but the next album coming up is a 50s rock and roll styled album. And hopefully I will have that posted later tonight. Okay, enjoy. Here's a sneak preview. Bye-bye.
Since the dawn of the internet and the birth of cyber scheme, relentlessness and piracy, my individuality, chat rooms and message boards, spreading witchcraft lore, spinning a wide web of weird, the censors foolishly ignore. Digital book of shadows, each website turns a page, online pagan also, each forum sets a stage, multiple faces, anonymous aliases, no untouched spaces, vanish without traces. The more you fight me, the more I win. Said the more you fight me, the more I win. Yeah, the more you fight me, the more I win. Said the more you fight me, the more I win. Bombardment, yeah, bombardment, leave no stone unturned. Derangement, yes, derangement, propaganda like napalm burns. The internet is a weapon, a sneaking ninja's heaven. Propaganda's delight, wayward view to ignite. The more you fight me, the more I win. Says the more you fight me, the more I win. Yeah, the more you fight me, the more I win. Said the more you fight me, the more I win. Destroy Abrahamic programming, the liberate satanic reformatting, annihilate the Roman creed, wipe out Christianity. Tonight the Buddha cries, tonight Yahweh dies, the Dalai Lama lies, no Allah in the sky. Intellectual defeat, your propaganda is elite. The cycle is complete, your words they now repeat. Social media influencer, yes, social media influencer. Control, alt, delete, said control, alt, delete. Social media influencer, yes, social media influencer. Control, alt, delete, said control, alt, delete. The more you fight me, the more I win. Said the more you fight me, the more I win. Tonight the Buddha cries, tonight Yahweh dies, the Dalai Lama lies, no Allah up in the sky. Control